Questions?
On the defensive performance you had against Penn State, one, would you assess that that's your best of the year? And then two, what will it take to sustain that these last few years?
I think that from an overall full game standpoint, it probably was our best effort. I think we've obviously, at times in the season, played halves or played in the same manner, but I think some of the things we did in that game from a red zone goal line stop to be able to a little more turnovers than we'd had in the past. So we've done some things that we've been talking about and trying to stress. We scored on defense, and that's something we've talked about the last 3 weeks, that we've had those opportunities. We just need to capitalize. So from an overall standpoint of our players, understanding and accepting, how we have to win and how we have to play, I think our guys embrace that. And other than a couple of big plays, obviously didn't do a bad job on Saturday.
How much was the effort and the play of your defense versus kind of the struggles that they've had on offense?
Well, I think that it's a team that over the last couple of weeks, they took Ohio State to double overtime 2 weeks before. So, but is it? I think they'd had some injuries too up front, and I think our guys up front did a great job of trying to capitalize on that, and I think our ability to pressure the quarterback helped our success, or somewhat success.
It's tough when you play as well as you did all day long, and then you have that one play that everybody remembers. But
correct.
Watching that on film or whatever, what was the breakdown there?
Well, I think the breakdown there, we're a pretty aggressive run-fitting team, and we're just a little more aggressive as far as just fit up a wrong gap. It was a little bit unique play that we hadn't seen, and I had some young guys fit it up a little different. But again, we should be able to track that down, whether it be a corner, whether it be a fold guy. We should be able to down the ball. But unfortunately, we fit the wrong gap. They did. We maybe went bit on a play action fake a little bit to the perimeter, and unfortunately, next thing it's hard to catch a guy in the open field.
Brian, I guess to sustain that level now, these last few weeks, what will it take? What's the key there?
Well, I think we've talked all season. We've had some games and halves and where we've played well at times and just being able to back it up. I think a lot of that's going to come from our seniors, Bobby Richardson, Timmy Bennett, guys like that have been playing, I believe, some of their best football right now. Our young guys who maybe aren't used to, especially our young freshmen, aren't used to this type of physical nature, especially as you get into November, to continue to get better. And that's what we've challenged our guys defensively. Let's see continual improvement. And so for us to be able to back last Saturday up, going to a tough place to play and playing a big physical team like they did last week, for us to back it up and, is going to see really what kind of progress we're making and for us to still stay on task as far as continuing to improve each week.
A little bit of the season about keeping guys fresh and keeping guys' legs, ready, especially the young guys for kind of a long haul. Have you seen that kind of manifest itself here in the past couple weeks from staying fresh and being able to play a little more physical?
I think so. We did have a very physical week last week, and so our guys knew that, knew what it was going to take, and embraced that, and realized that where we are right now, we have to be able to practice that way, and for us to. We're going to face a pretty fresh team. Rutgers is a team that's had an off week. So, for us to be able to prepare and for our guys, whether it's a youth level, whether it's a new defense, we've got to be able to practice and simulate as much as possible what they're going to see on Saturday. And so you can't do that without having pretty physical practices. So where you'd like to maybe take a little off, but I think we find the best success and the best rate of return when we actually simulate as much game possible as we can, but still trying to maintain that balance and keeping them fresh.
More physical practices last week. What specifically did you guys?
Well, with pads a lot more than and actually win against our guys, our offense. So from a speed of play, from just a tempo, just more physicality with our especially our guys up front on offense, our guys being able to feel the fits and just the pace of play, just trying to simulate what they're going to see on Saturday as much as possible.
Do you continue with that approach this week? Is that something that will?
Absolutely. I think that's what we have to. And, we had the best, and our guys understand it we had a number of them talk about it after the game. Hey, this is how we practice this week. And when they see that return or when they played better because of the practice, they buy in pretty good.
Maybe in that Michigan game that made you think, we kind of have to be a little bit more physical, maybe?
I think down the stretch, last 2 weeks, from a physicality standpoint. And I thought our kids, other than, a couple of drives, one that they're in the end of the first half, a couple drives, I felt like we gave up a couple of big plays, but we were able to down the ball and have a red zone stand. And so, I think that it helps us out. I really do. I think Rutgers is a team that it's a pretty experienced team throughout the front. Throughout their up front, their skill positions, their quarterback's a senior. These are guys that are pretty experienced group. They're sitting on 5 wins right now, so it's a group that for 2 weeks is really looking forward to this day to becoming bowl eligible, and so it'll be a big challenge for us to be able to go up in that environment. We've seen them on film a lot this year. They play fast. Been a couple of great atmospheres up there when we see on film. I believe the Penn State Michigan games where we've watched, and we think it'll be a good atmosphere, and they play very, very hard. Okay.